Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NWA Power Review. Been a while since I've said that. For the 23rd of March 2021. This is the return of Power. Good for them. Anyway, one of the best independent wrestling shows on TV. I would even say one of the better wrestling shows on TV if you like actual wrestling. NWA returned on Fight TV. This is the first new Power since the 12th of May of 2020, so it's been almost a year. Strictly Business interview. Kyle Davis is with Strictly Business, which is the NWA World Champion Nick Aldis, Tom Latmere, and Camille. They're talking about how they have a six-man coming up. They were short a partner. Latimer talked about his draw with the TV champion Pope on Sunday at the Back with the Attack pay-per-view, and he said Pope couldn't call himself a real champion. Camille talks about becoming the number one contender of the women's championship, and that the podium might not be able to hold all the gold they're going to carry when she wins. Latimer cuts to a question to Alvis and rants about Pope again. Aldis then speaks about how Power is back and that it's cause to celebrate. Alice says he didn't condone the behavior of Chris Adonis with the national champion Trevor Murdoch. Things are only about strictly business, and Aldis said he had a room as a prop and wanted to talk about clean sweep at Back to the Attack. Latmere didn't get what he deserved, as he should be TV champ. He promised Camille would be the women's champ. This is an awesome promo. This is how you build a stable. This is how you build heels. Highlight video promoting a replay of the pay-per-view. Camille defeats Alex Garcia. Good squash for Camille. Highlights Camille's power. Match with Thunder Rosa from Sunday did run a little long. This is much shorter. Camille needs to highlight power, get in, get out. Garcia goes after Camille quickly, gets nailed into a Rana attempt, and then there's a massive power bomb by Camille, and she says that's going to make a graphic right there. She applies a torture rack on Garcia and sends her away, hits a spear, and gets a pin. Pope interview, TV champ Pope says that he and Davis talk about it. He's not happy with the way he retained the championship, but he did survive, and that means he defended the title regardless. He said that he's aiming to have 6 more defenses so that he'd have 7 wins and would be able to challenge for the NWA title. I didn't know that was a thing. He said that he plans to go in there week in and week out and defend and fight, but everyone's coming at him better be ready. Awesome promo. De Niro is a guy that they missed on. He's super charismatic, and it's a shame that he's not with a larger company. While he's talking, Austin Idol comes out with Tyrus and cuts a promo on Pope saying he's lucky to stand on the same set as him. Idol announced Tyrus is his new client, which, excuse me, I think that's a backward step. Promises to take him to the top, and then he's going to eat Pope alive. Idol said he made miss Nick Aldis. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be the NWA champion. Promises to make Tyrus the next world champion in his own right. Tyrus says Pope probably had questions, but he'd get answers. He'd have to go through Idol, and they left. Not a good thing. Fred Rosser defeats Matt Cross and Marshy Rocket to become the number 1 contender to the TV title. Not a bad match, actually better than a lot of things. Within the first seconds, Pope, who's doing commentary, called Rosser Darren Young, which, in case you didn't know, they are one and the same. Cross is disregarded early due to him being a little bit smaller, and he's made to pay with a springboard crossbody to Raquette, and then match goes on. Rocket has a 20-year career behind him, having wins over Rhino, Mustafa Ali, which I didn't know anything about that, so that was cool. Rocket hits a power slam on Cross, and all three are, I guess you'd say, triple downed. Cross hits a cutter on Rocket, and Rosser follows up with a leg drop before going after Cross. Cross misses shooting star on Rosser, rolls out of the way, gets a forearm, and sends Rocket to the floor. Cross turns around, Rosser hits the gut check on Cross for the pin. Boogie slices backstage with May Valentine. I'm sorry, but May Valentine's the worst thing here. He said he didn't come to the NWA for just one match at Back at the Attack, but he said he wanted to start his NWA career right, going 1-0 so far. He said he didn't have his eyes on anyone in particular, but he'd fight anyone. And then he flirts with Valentine. This was kind of a throwaway segment. Mike Parro defeats Jordan Clearwater. Clearwater gets completely squashed in this. Parro crushes him. Parro was at one point a big mainstay in the Florida independent scene, FIP, and Evolve, and that whole bunch. And I'm surprised he hasn't been picked up somewhere. Clearwater gets hit in the corner, he gets hit with a full Nelson slam, and then he crushes him with a senton, and Parro hits the over-the-shoulder shit-out piledriver. It looks brutal, and he's well on his way. Thunder Rosa does an interview. She basically came out and said she wants to get her championship back. Disappointed with her loss at Back at the Attack, but she said she wasn't done. She thinks it's disgusting that Camille might represent the entire company. Melina comes out and said that while she and Rosa had differences, she has been keeping up with what she's been doing, and she's proud of all that she's done. She knew how it hurt to lose, and Melina said she's there for Rosa if she ever needs it. Rosa said Melina paved the road for her and is quite flattered that she's offering help, but she could still do things on her own. Melina said if she ever needed anything, she'd be there for her, even offering to manage her. Rosa said the past is the past, and she's earned what she did because she worked hard. She didn't think she needed Melina's help right now. Great promo, and storylines keep going forward. Strictly Business, World Champ Nick Aldis, Tom Latimer, and Chris Adonis, otherwise known as the former Chris Masters, defeated the Pope and the Tag Team Champions Aaron Stevens and Kratos. Not a bad main event. Pushes several storylines forward. Stevens is a babyface who spends the majority of the time clashing with his partner here. Aldis condemns Adonis' action against Trevor Murdoch earlier in the show, but welcomes him as a member of the team. Stevens starts the match with Adonis hitting some clothesline and belly-to-back suplex, but ends up on the receiving end of punishment from Latimer. And then they get heat on Stevens for the next little bit. Keeps him grounded and away in his corner. Some cheap tactics, and then some decent tag team wrestling. Stevens keeps trying to fight back, but keeps getting ground and pounded. Katos yells, "Are you kidding me?" Stevens gets beaten down, looking very upset, and with his partner, Stevens sweeps the leg of Latimer, hits DDT. Stevens manages to tag out Pope, and Pope runs wild. It's a splash in the corner, and a flying forearm on Adonis. Pope hits a DDT on Adonis and Latimer at the same time, so kind of a double DDT. Running Bulldog on Adonis. Aldis cuts him off. Latimer tries to bring a chair into the ring. Pope steps in, crushes it in his hands. Adonis hits a spine buster on Pope. And then Curtis takes his head off with a clothesline. Aldis tries to lock in the cloverleaf on Pope. Eats a super kick from Stevens. Pope hits the STO on Adonis. Curtis blind tags in. Pope is arguing with the referee. Curtis grabs a chair. Tries to kill Adonis with it. Stevens pulls the chair away. Adonis rolls him up with a handful of tights to the win. Post-match, Stevens and partner, and Stevens is basically saying they didn't need to try to win and hand him the title back, saying that they weren't going to wrestle that way. Carter said Stevens should have let him do all the work, and the show goes off the air. Conflict between the two. This is how a wrestling show is booked. That sports entertainment garbage is ready to go. Got through it in 10 minutes because it's about an hour show and worth every minute of it. We'll be back with the Impact review. Till next time, everybody.